What is up, guys? It is King from Ariana and King Gaming here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to tell all iPhones apart. So before we get any further into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our videos. So if you're like me, maybe not, maybe, and you always look at people's phones, just trying to like figure out if you can see what phone people have. Well, this is a good video because I have found things for every phone from the new 13s all the way down to the iPhone SE first generation and the iPhone 6s. And I am just now realizing that there is such thing as an iPhone 6s and a 6s Plus. I never knew that before. I always thought it was just a 6 and a 6 Plus, so this may make things a little more challenging. But anyways, here we go. We're starting off with the Pro models, 11, 12, and 13 Pro model. So, starting off, this one's very easy. The Pro models, the 11 Pro has a 5.8 inch display, and then the 12 has a 6.1 inch display, but that's really close and it's sometimes hard to tell. And also the camera bump area is a little bit smaller than the 12. And if you know what the LiDAR sensor is, you can see that the 11 doesn't have it. It's a little black circle right underneath the third camera. Or like the camera to the, I forget my lefts and rights, of course, for this video. On the right, the camera closest to the right, underneath it, it isn't there. So that's one way to tell. And that's pretty much the only way I have to tell. And if you see the screen and you're like in a city or somewhere that has 5G, then you may see 5G, I don't know. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. And yeah, the LiDAR scanner. 11 Pro doesn't have it. And yeah. So here are the colors. So if you see, pretty much silver is or Pacific blue. If you see someone with like a Pacific blue color, it's the 12. If you see someone with like the midnight green, it's the 11. All the other colors are the same except graphite and space gray are the same color but just called something different. So yeah. So that's pretty much the only thing for these. And now, since the differences for the 11 Pro and the 13 Pro are pretty much the same thing, just like one difference. But with the LiDAR scanner there, that's probably the easiest way. So we're just going to go and change this to the 13 Pro. And right away, you can see that the camera is a lot bigger, way, way bigger. And sometimes it's actually hard to tell. Sometimes I think the 12 Pros or 13 Pros, but it's not always the case. And here's how I can tell. I don't know if I can zoom in, but when you look on like the display thing, you can see like where like the cameras are facing. And like the notch on the iPhone 12 Pro is a little bit bigger than the notch on the iPhone 13 Pro. And then like the little speaker, or like the speaker on the 13 Pro is like on the top of the phone. And then like the speaker thing on the 12 Pro and 11 Pro is like in the middle. And then like the camera for the 12 Pro is on the right side and the 13 Pro camera is on the left side. So that's pretty much the same way. And the camera bump's just a bit bigger. So yeah. So now that's pretty much the same thing for the Pro Max. I really don't have a way to tell between the Pro Max and like the Pros. It's just that it's bigger. It's sometimes hard to tell though, but I don't really have a way to tell that. But coming down here to the colors, if you see someone with Alpine green, that's a 13. and Sierra blue, not to be confused with Pacific blue. So if you see Pacific blue, if you see like a Pacific blue, that's a 12 Pro. And if you see like a Sierra bluish color, like a light, like kind of like a sky blue, that's the 13 Pro. Okay, so now let's go and do the 11 and the 12. This is actually the phone that I'm recording on right now, the 12. So it's pretty hard at first. The camera thing, so like the notch stuff is pretty much the same. iPhone 12 is 5G. And the camera just bumps and stuff is just a tiny bit smaller. Not too much to make a difference, but so in a minute I'm going to show you the differences. And they both actually have green. I don't really know how to explain the greens, because both greens look different, but I don't know how to explain that. So they both have greens, purples, and if you see a blue one, that's an iPhone 12. If you see a yellow one, that's an iPhone 11. I think the two blacks are a little bit different. I don't really know. I haven't had a 11 up close in a while. Since last time I was at an Apple store. But yeah. And then the product reds are a little bit different. And yeah. Okay, here's the real difference. It might be sometimes hard to tell, but anyways, here's the difference. Guys, right here I have a picture of a person holding the iPhone 11. And if you look at the speakers, there's a bunch on this side. There's 6 on this side, 6 on that side. And then in a minute, I'm going to show you a picture of the 12s, and I'll show you the difference. Here's a picture of the 12 Pro, which has 5 speakers on one side and then 3 on the other. So the 12 has just a little bit less, but it also has and actually, if you might be able to tell by that, but probably maybe not. This is actually a 12 Pro, but the speakers are actually the same. I just checked on my phone and looked at the speakers, and they are. And here is one other way you can tell. You can see that the edges right there are flat edge, right? A flat edge design, and it's kind of like a hard design. And then when we look at the other one, the 11, we can tell that the edges are a more curved design, kind of like the older phones are. That is a good way you can tell which model it is. Sometimes, depending on if the case shows it or not, sometimes it's hard. So that's actually the only 2 ways I have for it. So let's go on to the 13. Alright guys, so we are back. Let's change this to the 12, or actually, first, let's go and change this to the 13. And this to the 12, just so it's a little bit simpler. And then here we go. So, I'm only going to give one thing because it's the obvious one. Actually, I'll just give you 2 because there might be. Okay, so the first difference is the cameras. The 13s are much bigger, larger sensors, and they're diagonal instead of straight. And then the notch, like in some of the other ones. And down here, you can take a look. And then we have these. We both have green. They have a purple for the 12, but 13 has a pink, which I believe is actually called rose gold. And then they have a white iPhone 12, which is Starlight. iPhone 13, a black iPhone 12, a midnight iPhone 13, and product red, and blue. I think I might have said that. I don't know. All right, now let's go to the SEs. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so we're starting off with the iPhone SE first generation, and then let's go down to the second generation, and then we'll get to the third one soon. So here we have like a 4-inch display, and then the SE second generation has a 4.7. It has like a more modern look for the SE2. It looks like the iPhone 8. And on the SE 1, you have the power button on the top instead of on the side, kind of like an iPod Touch. And then the camera's a lot smaller. And then you can see there's a big difference. And then the colors, I actually don't know these colors. And the colors, there's a white, black, and product red for the SE2. And there's space gray, silver, rose, gold, and gold for the SE1. And that's a pretty easy difference. And let's go find the SE3. And then we'll go down here to the SE2. Actually, before making this video, I didn't really have a thing for it. And why? Because it's pretty much exactly the same. Just a newer chip, same colors, just different names. And yeah, so if you see one with 5G, that's the SE3. If you see one with not 5G, then it could be either one. That's the only way I have for that. I forgot about the SEs first. Okay, now let's go with the 6 and the 7. The 6 and the 7. Where are they? 7. So right off the bat, you can tell the newer one, and that is the 7. And the camera is a lot bigger instead of the 6, which is a very small one, as you can see in that little picture right there. And it has very old chips. They have the same colors, except the 7 has a black. That's really the only thing about this. Okay, now let's do the 7 and 8. Yes. Whoops. Need to go here and get the 8. The 8. And then the 7. So pretty much all the same thing. I don't really have a way of showing because they're almost exactly the same looking. The only thing is that they have a black instead of a space gray. And the 7 has a rose gold. That's what it is. The space gray is like the black. That's weird though. Anyways, yeah. So now I'm just going to skip over the 6S and the 6S Plus because I don't really have much of a difference for those. I didn't even know they were a thing. Okay, yeah, 6 Plus. That's actually what I wanted. I didn't mean to click it though, but I don't know. Time to go. 7 Plus. And you also have a big change too when you come down here. The cameras. It's a lot smaller, and then on the 7 Plus, they have 2 cameras side by side. And yeah, just a lot bigger. And then the 7 Plus and the 8 Plus, I do not have any difference for. I don't think, other than the colors. 8 Plus. Where's the 9? Do they not have a 9? I really don't know. So yeah, there's no difference really with that. I just always assume people have the 8 Plus because it's newer, and I don't know why people still have the 7 Plus. But anyway, now let's go to all the 10s. There's so many of them. There's the 10, the 10S, 10R, 10S Max. Okay, so I'm not even going to go. Okay, actually, yeah, I will. So now let me get the 10R. And you can tell immediately by the camera. There's 1 instead of 2. And there is only those colors. I don't know why the 10R is not coming up, but anyway. And then let's go to the 10S. There is really no difference except for the size, I believe. No, except for the speaker thing. I believe the speakers are different. That is the only change in the 10 to the 10S. It's very, very weird. I do not know why they bothered making that. They only made the 10S to add the gold. It's very weird. And then you have the 10S Max, which I think, yeah, is it called the 10S Max? I don't know. Pretty sure. Which is just bigger than that. I think we got them all. Oh, we missed the minis, but it's pretty much the same thing, just smaller. That's how you tell So basically, the 11, 12s, and 13s are the same way with the minis. Actually, I forgot there's no 11 mini. So the 12 and the 13, 12 mini and the 12 have the same differences or whatever. And then the 13 and the 13 mini have the same differences as well. So anyways, that's it for today's video. Please subscribe. This was a lot of work. Anyways, thanks for watching.